The vacation gone wrong in Paris is almost always because people try to do too many things. Oh, we have to go to the Louvre. We got to go up the Eiffel Tower. Now, already, you're waiting on a line to go up an elevator, stand there with a bunch of other crowds. The fact is, it's a pretty punishing afternoon. To me, it's like, okay, go to Paris. I'm going to check into a nice hotel, and my plan is I'm going to eat some cheese, and I'm going to get drunk. This is good. I'll have more of this. You were almost guaranteed to have a really good time.
Paris and the French are easy to get wrong. I mean, it's hard to resist. After all, they're French. You feel obliged to embrace the stereotype. And of course, to some extent, the stereotypes are true. Indulgent, arty, socialist, what with their free medical care and their long vacations and their un-American propensity for high quality of life, they suffer from the burden of a tradition of fabulously oozing cheeses, rich sauces, historic wines, the kind of thing that tends to pigeonhole a culture, make you think it's all luxury and sodomy. But it ain't all snooty waiters and haute cuisine. In fact, that is mostly all gone. You can go to Paris and actually have a really great time. People are actually nicer. Good food is cheaper and more casual. You can even get a decent hamburger. You can still get the good old stuff, just a lot of the bull seems to have gone the way of the woolly mammoth. The food scene in Paris today, in some ways, feels way more like Brooklyn, independent and surprisingly casual. Paris has two airports, Charles de Gaulle and Orly. You'll probably be landing at Charles de Gaulle Airport, about 30 miles north of the city center. Easiest and most expensive way out is by taxi. That could take you up to an hour in traffic and run about 60 euros. There's also the RER train line. That's a 30-minute high-speed train that will drop you in a central location in Paris. The cheapest option to escape the airport is the Roissy bus, also known as the Opera bus. It picks up every 15 minutes from each terminal and drops you at the Opera House in Paris for about €9.
There are 20 quartiers in Paris, and it's like a snail, so you count it from the inside out.
Moi-même, je me perds encore dans Paris. Je prends des rues au hasard et je me dis, c'est un peu comme un labyrinthe.
Now, here's the thing about hotels in Paris. You can go the Henry Miller route and wallow romantically in squalor, or live it up big time. And luxury in Paris, they still got that. For a luxurious high-end option, there's the elegantly discreet Hotel Le Particulier, located in the heart of the historic Montmartre, nestled in a secret alleyway known as the Witch's Rock Passage. For more basic, try the promisingly named Hotel Amour, stylish and reasonably priced with a decent restaurant downstairs. Many musicians stay here on tour, making it casual and tolerant, one would assume, of unusual noises coming from your room.
Here's the thing. You come to Paris, you want to see the left bank. Of course you do. Come on. Saint-Michel, Saint-Germain, tiny, narrow little streets. Go there, get some cheese, get some shellfish, get up. Then you're thinking about Notre Dame. Should I climb Notre Dame? No. No, you shouldn't. You should walk past it, quickly get a photograph of yourself in front of Notre Dame. Total time investment, 7 minutes. Have a cone, go have sex with a French person. Notre Dame.
The absolute worst thing to do when you come to Paris is plan too much. Eiffel Tower, Notre Dame, l'Arc de Triomphe. Stand in line for hours to experience what everybody says you have to. Me, I like to take it easy in Paris, especially if I'm only in town for a few days. This is a walking city, and it's nice to stroll through the different neighborhoods, hang out at a cafe, and watch the world go by. I duck into a place near my hotel, Le Pour Café, for a couple of cups of the good stuff. Feel free to accompany this with a shot of Calvados, by the way. C'est normal.
Bonjour, café crème, s'il vous plaît.
In this city, coffee is actually rent. The idea is you milk that one cup for as long as you like, take it up some prime real estate while people watching. Don't worry, they won't mind. Everybody does it.
Can't operate without coffee.
Coffee culture is deadbeat culture. It's Laptopistan without the laptops.
Pour démarrer une bonne journée, les gens passent et puis ils boivent le petit café au comptoir. C'est vraiment une tradition française. On prend le petit expresso, nous on donne le petit verre d'eau avec et on commence une journée avec un café. Il y a pratiquement 90% des gens, il y a très peu de gens qui ne boivent pas de café.
Another great cafe in Le Marais is Petit Fer à Cheval. The name of this little cafe literally means horseshoe, after its horseshoe-shaped marble bar. Tucked in the Le Marais on the rambling Rue Vieille du Temple, it's been around for close to 120 years. Fortunately, not much has changed since it's opened its doors. Nostalgic reclaimed metro benches in the back for seats, smoky mirrors, and old film posters.
Another? It's one of those unfortunate incidents, you know, like I speak French, he speaks back to me in English, so. If nothing else, my coffee ordering skills are impeccable. Give me that at least.
Hopped up on French roast, I head out to grab some lunch. About the classic French bistro, I am a sentimental fool. And 10 years ago, it would have been the obvious choice for my lunch. But something has been happening to that classic French bistro. Though largely unchanged from the outside, the kitchens and ideas are in the midst of a revolution. I'm meeting up with Louis Dabussy, a well-respected food critic at Le Fooding magazine, a magazine and somewhat unconventional guidebook that's turned into something of a movement in recent years.
Hi there.
We are meeting at Au Passage in the 11th quartier. The menu small, the wines young, and the price tag cheap. Really cheap.
What's changed here? I mean, there seems to be a democratization of eating well.
We all got quite bored with the French tradition, like the whole etiquette chef and etiquette fine dining and everything. So a lot of things that are happening to put spontaneity and easy dining, but very good at the center of the table.
The lunch at Au Passage is refreshingly simple, offering only prix-fixe meals with a choice of just 2 entrees. Today, we have a choice: fish or veal. The appetizer, a whelk and potato salad, the cheese plate, and the dessert are the same. The philosophy here is simplicity and embracing a sort of creativity and seasonal freshness that's evident in their changing daily menu.
And it's part of the randomness, you know. Which is important for spontaneity. Allow randomness and allow some mistakes is important to stay spontaneous. It doesn't have to be perfect all the time.
So consistency is overrated, not so important.
And it can imply rigidity and a way of cooking that doesn't allow spontaneity and being loose and allow himself to do mistake.
Right.
And yeah, that's basically about liberty of creation. You know?
That's a big change in the mentality of restaurants, because this goes completely contrary to the philosophy of haute cuisine, which is it must always taste exactly the same. None of that is true anymore.
That's a big change indeed. That's quite a revolution in cuisine.
Another equally excellent option when in Paris is to wander through Rue Montorgueil, one of the last remaining real market streets of the old Les Halles. Here you'll find excellent butcher shops, old boulangerie, pâtisserie, and fromagerie, or cheesemongers. Ask for their advice on best stinkiest cheese, get a baguette and some charcuterie, and head out to one of the many parks or patches of grass along the Seine. But this afternoon, for me, it's a wonderful veal lunch.
If friends of yours were coming to Paris for 2 days, what would you recommend?
Yeah, well, if some friends come and don't want to only eat all day, I will also advise them to taste the artistic scene in Paris. Has been moving a lot also in the past years, and a lot of new places have been opening.
New art.
Yeah, new ones.
Eiffel Tower, should one go or not?
Like every Parisian, I've not been there since I'm 5.
I'd say skip it.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I think it's beautiful to see, but you see it,
Yeah.
you see it everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't have to climb it.
And you can get a similar view from the top floor of your hotel. Yeah.
Definitely.
And this is yet another reason you kind of have to love Paris. The obligatory must-have, if you don't order it, you're nuts, cheese plate at the end of the meal. How could you not love this?
I posted on my Facebook page that I'm coming here. And there were like a couple of hundred comments in response. And somebody posted just one instance, Paris blows. Paris sucks. And I was like, what does it say about a person that they could come to this city and spend any amount of time, no matter how miserable the experience, no matter how many things went wrong, and come away thinking that? It's like saying, music sucks, or sex is completely overrated. It's unthinkable to me.
Paris has one of the largest and busiest metro systems in all of Europe. And even for my lazy ass, it's hard to argue that it's a pretty damn convenient way to get around. Tickets are sold at kiosks and automated machines in the station, and each ticket comes with a free transfer within an hour and a half of your purchase time. Another option for all you green and calorie-conscious types like me is to try the bike share, or Le Vélib, the self-service bike system that's available 24 hours a day.
It's really great, I mean, if you want to see Paris, because when you're in the subway, it's really great. You can move from one place to another, but you don't see Paris. When you're biking Paris, you see how beautiful it is.
Et l'avantage supplémentaire, c'est qu'en réalité, on n'a pas besoin de marcher sur les crottes de chien, en fait.
I hit the street to meet up with an old friend, the filmmaker Franz Rudolf Lang, a dedicated and opinionated food enthusiast and someone who's watched as a younger generation of chefs have transformed the most highly regarded cuisine in the world to something different.
I think there's a whole new generation of young chefs who are deeply in love with the product, more than the recipe.
Yeah, but you know what a big difference is? Is that in the old days, we didn't know them. We followed them blindly. Now we know them. They're all friends of New York chefs.
Because it's a small world.
It is a much smaller world now.
We're heading over to l'Avant Comptoir in the left bank in the 6. A tiny, standing room only French small plate and wine bar run by Yves Camdebord, the same mastermind behind Le Comptoir du Relais next door. With l'Avant Comptoir, he's been quoted as wanting to end the tyranny of the table in Paris.
I'm excited about eating here. You eat standing up. It's totally casual. You get to eat other people's food, like the bread and butter is, and the pickles and all this stuff is communal. Correct me if I'm wrong, that is an exciting menu, above and beyond all of this, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's true.
I want that. I want all of those.
We order sliced jambon de noir de Bigot, croquette of pied cochon, and seared veal, rare, served with a tuna pâté. Finally, the macaron de Bourdain noir.
So do you know what your trip in Paris will be about?
Me eating.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I might visit a couple of places in my childhood.
You lived in Paris, actually, when you were in
Paris? No, vacation.
Vacation?
To visit family. Yep.
That's why you're speaking French so well.
Oh, that hurt. 3 more glasses, my French will get much better, I promise you.
Yeah, and my English will too.
If you happen to be over on the left bank and are looking for some good French snacks, try S02E02. The owners of this new bistro have kept the original 70s decor. Neon lights, Formica wood paneling, mirrors. Here it's mostly small plates meant for sharing. Again, something you might not have seen a few years ago in Paris. For me today, though, it's that blood sausage macaroon.
Now that's a sandwich.
Macaron, how is it calling that? Macaron?
Oh, wow. Okay, so you have the new, and all these young kids doing things. But at the same time, I'm very, very, very sentimental about that old stuff. You know, I love, even the worst of it, I love.
Well, I think the restaurant you're talking about, where it's the mother of the owner is in the kitchen. And,
yes, exactly. I love that.
I think in Paris, those restaurants are dead or are about to die.
To my way of thinking, there is no greater culinary institution in France than the old-school dino-style, unchanged by time, classic Parisian bistro. And this place, Le Paul Bert in the 11th, is one of the best.
10 years from today, 20, 50, 100 years, a place like this will always be important, relevant, central dynamic to cuisine. However people are cooking 100 years from now, whoever is cooking will always and must always love and respect this.
Franz and I order up some classics. Chef Bertrand Aubonneau tells us asparagus is in season, so I go with an asparagus and mushroom omelet to start. For the main, I'm easy. Steak au poivre. God, I love it. Especially when it's a super 60s creamy heart attack version. Franz goes with some beautifully steamed fresh asparagus to start. And for his main, seared veal with a generous portion of the in-season vegetables.
It's beautiful. Look at that. Nothing could be more beautiful.
Ooh, it's very firm cooking.
It's a properly made omelet, too. It's amazing how few people in this world know how to make an omelet correctly. It's perfect.
For a slightly more modern environment, try Septime, also in the 11th. Here, Chef Bertrand Grébeau delivers a more modern take on the classics in a more industrial environment. Still a French bistro at its core, the food and crowd here are younger, embracing some of the newer ideas working their way through French modern cookery. But tonight, it's Le Paul Bert.
Yes,
Gotta love it.
that's how I like it. That's great.
We are such nerds.
I'm going to tweet on that.
Me too. Do people do this in Paris? Is this acceptable behavior now?
Yeah, completely.
It's in New York.
It's stupid, but
In New York, you're not allowed to eat until you take a picture of it.
I'm trying not to do it. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's fun.
Well, if you haven't tweeted about it, it didn't happen. This was a good sauce. This was a good steak.
Yeah, you look happy.
I am happy.
After a meal like this, I am done. Put a fork in me, roll me into a wheelbarrow.
Le pain.
The bread in French culture is huge. It's just like the weather. It's just like sunshine. You don't have sunshine, people are depressed. Same thing with bread.
Il y a beaucoup de Parisiens qui sont capables de passer plusieurs minutes, voire de faire plusieurs kilomètres tous les jours pour aller chercher leur pain.
I eat bread with everything. I even eat bread with pizza. I eat bread with sushi. That's not a meal if there's no bread on the table.
Some of my fonder memories from when I was a kid involved the morning trip to a boulangerie in Paris. I loved walking up to the bakery first thing in the morning and smelling all those wonderful and mysteriously rich smells. And this morning, I'm happy to relive that memory.
I think one of the escargot cerise pistache. Yes, that looks irresistible. And the famous. Why?
Yeah.
I meet up with Christophe Vasseur, creator and founder of what many consider to be the best bakery in Paris, Du Pain et des Idées. Christophe is doing things with dough that have not been done for decades.
If you have 5 minutes, I can show you upstairs how we make this, the rolls.
Yes, I'd love to.
This is something which has disappeared in France.
He takes me upstairs where his bakers are hard at work, mixing, kneading, and shaping the most basic of foodstuffs, the dough. And here they make and sell only breads, no pastries, a subtle distinction that's been lost over the years.
Patisserie used to be the
Distinct.
totally distinct business, and now everything is in the same boutique, and the quality, nobody is excellent in patisserie and excellent in bread.
They're two different crafts
It's
entirely.
two different sensitivity.
If you want a slightly more substantial breakfast, check out Coquelicot. Located in Montmartre, the 18th, Coquelicot is a bakery and cafe that's almost always crowded, and with good reason. There's a terrace out front to watch the world pass by, and they serve lattes in giant bowls still, an almost extinct old Paris tradition. There's the usual classic French treats maybe you remember from someone else's childhood, like madeleine, financier, macaroons, but also heartier brunch stuff. But this morning, I'm looking forward to appreciating the way bread used to be made.
Now, the wonderful bread. How many bakers in Paris still make this kind of bread?
0.00 point something.
Really?
Yeah. The problem with bread in France today is, you see that crust? 70% of the flavor is the crust. But everybody forgot it because, of course, it's easier, faster, more convenient to half-bake the bread. And to me, I shall say the motto was do something different, but exceptional.
Bread in hand, I stroll over to Canal Saint-Martin to relax and eat my breakfast.
So someone was just telling me that this canal was dug, Napoleon had it dug so that they could float cheese right up from its point of origin into central Paris. He's right about one thing, that is good bread. This is gonna be sticky. Wow. It's just obscenely good. And I hate sweet. It's the delicate interplay between the fresh cherries and the pistachio. It's really, really good. Do you know that in France it is illegal to name your pig Napoleon? In France, 70% of the music on the radio must be made by French artists between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Yeah, the Canadians have the same problem. It is illegal to walk with your hand up a woman's skirt, but while you're on the metro, you may legally touch breasts. Your own or someone else's.
Perhaps the most striking effect of the current food revolution in Paris is the appearance of not only American chefs, but also that symbol of cutting-edge hipster foodie culture, the food truck. Le Camion food truck does what was once the unthinkable. Serves up that classic American food, the hamburger, and out of a truck on the side of the road. And it's probably the best burger you can get in Paris.
Bonjour. Classique.
One of the nice things about this burger is that they haven't around with it too much. They use choice beef, cooked properly, served up on great bread. I order up what they call the classique. A cheddar cheeseburger, tomato, lettuce, onion, and pickles.
It's a respectable looking hamburger. That is a good hamburger.
Another option, and in fact the only other food truck in Paris so far as I know, is the Californie Cantine. Crowds flock to this spot for organic hamburgers, Mexican tacos, and that ultimate symbol of hipster desserts, the cupcake. Jesus, what's happening to the France I love? Cupcakes. The end is clearly near. This roving food truck posts its whereabouts on various social networks and on its website. It's worth the effort of tracking it down because this may very well be the only decent Mexican food in all of Paris. There's really only one thing to follow up a hamburger lunch: an ice cream cone. On the Ile Saint-Louis, a sliver of land in the middle of the Seine, stands one of the great institutions of Paris, Bourdain ice cream. I order up a scoop of in-season cherry and a salted caramel cream.
Wow. Ridiculous. Monsieur. Now, what you're gonna know is Monsieur Bourdain, who ran this place, the legend was he would not even give his sons the recipe. He didn't trust them with the recipe. Journalists would come from all over the world and they would ask, when does Monsieur Bourdain come? And they'd ask some old man who would be out front sweeping the street. Of course, it was him. He'd say, I don't know. He never comes in. What was the big deal? The big deal was you would take a bite out of this cone and you would taste cherries in season like this, or wild strawberries in season. It would just blow the top of your head off. And it is good. And Ile Saint-Louis, this little spit of land in the middle of the Seine. Got your left bank over there, your right bank over there. Grab some ice cream, have a couple of drinks, get all Hemingway over there. It's a nice place to be.
The word flaneur in French is just to kind of wander. Here it's okay to just be a flaneur and to dream and to walk along and then stop in a cafe, and all of that is okay. It's okay to take your time, and I think that's really something that's very beautiful.
In keeping with the idea of doing as close to nothing as possible in Paris, taking a stroll through a park is probably a good idea. The Jardin du Luxembourg in the 6th district is a fine example of what I love about Parisian parks. I have many happy memories of playing in parks like this, floating little wood boats in the park's central fountain. Of course, my producers wouldn't take me to the park I actually spent time in, insisting the Jardin du Luxembourg was a much better location. They neglected to find out whether the kids and the boats would be here. Apparently, the boatman had the day off. But still, even I have to admit, it's a pretty park. So I sit to digest and watch the world go by, until suddenly, my worst fears are realized.
Oh, it's a mime. Keep him away from me.
Really, there's nothing I hate or fear more than mimes.
He's trapped in a box. He can't get out.
And look, my producers have surprised me with one.
I love this.
I thought at the time that this just happened. But no, in an act of treachery unparalleled in human history, my Quisling-like producer secretly set up this cruel ambush by this stripy shirted nightmare.
Yeah, I've had enough, man.
Bringing me back to my darkest and most fiercely repressed childhood trauma. An incident at a summer camp crafts fair, where I was cruelly misused by a predatory mime. Beaten, covered in grease paint, and left for dead.
Merci. Well, my day's ruined. I wanted to relive some happy childhood memories, and instead, my deepest and darkest fear and revulsion.
Nothing will wash away the stain from this moment. Oh look, Shellfish Tower. The Dome is an old classic, and I mean classic with a capital C. Brasserie in the Montparnasse district. After the mime incident, I feel my producer is unlikely to protest when I get a really expensive bottle of wine and the Royale Deluxe version of the best Shellfish Tower in Paris. This is gonna cost.
What do you call like post-mime stress disorder? Every time from now on I see a striped shirt, I'm gonna like clench. Super. Merci. This is gonna be some serious eating right here. If there's 2 things you do in Paris, like 2. This would be one.
Oysters, clams, shrimp, big crabs, and also the classic langoustine, periwinkle, and whelks.
You gotta get your hands dirty doing this, by the way. Okay, there ain't no way around it.
They give you all the tools, but ultimately, you have to dig in, crack, skewer, and suck your way through this thing.
So, you pull your little periwinkle. Okay, see that part there? Now you want to pinch off, okay? We don't really need to discuss why, but you just probably want to do that. Bourdain, whelk. Twist these out, as I recall, right? Dip in the mayo. These are the best boulot I've ever had. Where have you been hiding, my love? Remember to get that brain matter out of the head. Can't stress this enough.
A quick plate change, and we're back in business.
You will need to do this multiple times during your average seafood tower mission.
Another option for a classic French brasserie experience is Brasserie Weppler, one of the last truly family-run joints in Paris. Located between Montmartre and Pigalle, this brasserie has for over 100 years been the largest oyster house in Paris. But for today, for me, it's Le Dome.
That's good. Oh, these things are awesome. Again, be sure to scoop out that brain matter. Wait, see, it's kind of more fun doing this with somebody else, though, you know? It is Paris. I feel a little lonely. I feel I should be sharing with someone. I wonder what that mime's doing. What music do mimes listen to? Spin doctors? Yeah, they listen to Spin Doctors, Hootie and the Blowfish. If you go to any mime's apartment, there's a Natalie Merchant record. Guaranteed. Hello, Mr. Clammy. You thought you could hide from me, didn't you? But you couldn't. Oh, jeez. Second time today, something squirted on my chest. First was the mime, now a clam. Ooh, did it again. Oh, man. I'm gonna finish off that bottle of wine, go back to the park, beat Mr. Mime to death.
C'est un beau brassage culturel, voilà. J'aime beaucoup ce brassage culturel où tout le monde se mélange. Il n'y a pas que... It's a city who I'm still discovering every day.
The newly trendy 10th Quartier has traditionally been an area where new immigrants settled in. Indians, Pakistanis, Africans, Eastern Europeans, Turks, and Kurds. They all brought their food products, and now, as you might have guessed, hipsters have followed.
I meet up with restaurateur Pierre Jancoux, who has a restaurant in this neighborhood.
Pierre brings along his friend and business partner, David Benichou, and we head out together into the vibrant mix, which is now the 10th, to check out Urfa Duram, a Kurdish sandwich shop.
This is the place. They have great Kurd sandwiches. Bonsoir, ça va, monsieur? Voilà.
Bonsoir.
The name means Kurdish rolled sandwich, and the flatbread is baked right in front of you. No fries, no sauce, and minimal spices. Simple, fresh deliciousness. I order the lamb kebab, and Pierre takes the beef, David the lamb liver.
That's good. Why is he doing it so well? I mean, why doesn't he just sell kebab like everybody else?
Because he wants to make his traditional sandwich that they eat at home. That's really what they eat in Kurdistan.
Really fresh, vibrant. I like this neighborhood.
It's changing a lot. Yeah, very much. You go to the right, it's very African. Now I'm gonna bring you to Passage Brady. Only Indians, Bangladesh. My street, all this area was like Jewish, Eastern countries Jewish. Really mixed up.
So who's moving in now?
Hipsters.
Yeah, I knew the answer.
Yeah, because it's still cheap to live here.
Another option for exploring some ethnic diversity in Paris is the Marché Enfant Rouge, Paris's oldest covered market, located in the 3rd, Le Marais. Come here for high-quality ethnic food stands, an array of fresh produce, fish, and flowers. There's a Moroccan stall, Japanese bento boxes, French cheesemongers, and a variety of grocers. And there's outside seating to relax and enjoy your multicultural feast. Now for a little guilty pleasure. I head into the legendary Delerin Kitchen Supply. Even though I spend less and less time in the kitchen, the tools of the trade continue to fascinate me. But here, I've come looking for something very specific.
I'm looking for a duck press.
Ah oui, ouais. Presse à canard.
Presse à canard, ouais.
La presse à canard, a duck press, the most medieval of all kitchen tools. The way it works is you take a duck.
Your days are numbered, my friend. You're going in.
Roast it to perfectly rare or medium rare. Remove the legs and breasts and set them aside. Chop up the carcass a little bit. Place it in the chamber at the center of the press. And this is where it gets fun. You slowly turn the wheel and crush the carcass and the bones. All the blood and juices run out the little spigot at the bottom.
This could be the best party ever.
The bloody juice collects in a saucepan. You simmer it with some wine, maybe some shallots, and cook it down to a deep, dark, bloody sauce. Pour this over your roasted duck parts, and voila, amazing. Also, the duck press looks really cool sitting in your living room.
So cool. I'm never gonna use it. No, I'm gonna use it. Get me a duck.
If you want a less expensive shopping experience, try Shakespeare & Company bookstore in the Latin Quarter. A British family has owned this establishment for generations. Here, writers like Jack Kerouac would crash in one of the beds tucked in one of the small bookshop's corners. If, like Woody Allen, you need to reassert your credentials as a deep thinker and you love a good Juna Barnes joke, if you're the sort of person who'd buy Owen Wilson as a great writer in a movie, then this is a must-stop. But for me, on this trip, my toys are torture-related.
There's like maybe 2 restaurants in New York that have one of these. And my house. Awesome. With the neighbors will be like, he's making duck again. Damn you, Bourdain. Awesome.
The Parisians take their leisure very seriously, hence the phenomena of l'heure d'apéro, literally the hour of the apéritif.
C'est une pause, c'est un peu le moment où on se dit, bon allez, on arrête la journée et on va commencer la soirée.
You need to get rid of your stress.
Take off all the tension from the day, the tensions at work.
Donc normalement, c'est un moment de paix un peu, hein, de tranquillité.
I meet up with Maurice Guillet, a well-known executive chef in Paris. We meet at La Palette. The real reason to come is the terrace, a beautiful outdoor space not far from the river where you can get a real sense of the village life in Saint-Germain.
Cheers.
Cheers. Maurice and I catch up with a cold rosé and a snack called a guillotine. Thin slices of bread with equally thin slices of meat and cheese. Simple and good.
The French lunch, about how long ordinarily? An hour and a half?
No, less than 1 hour.
Less now. It used to be a little longer.
Yeah, it used to be. And more drink.
And you used to drink more. Now,
some office, no drink.
It's still good to be alive and living in Paris, right?
Yeah. A lot of holidays.
A lot of holidays. Medical care's free.
They work less than 8 hours a day.
Right.
Not much. 2 days off a week. Oh, it's not so bad, huh?
Okay, so even in Paris, they're clamping down on the leisurely lunch. But it's still a pretty good place to live the good life. I mean, as I've said, if you do nothing in Paris, you can still have a pretty sweet time.
Le vrai touriste, c'est quelqu'un qui est complètement ouvert, quoi. Il sait ce que j'ai, c'est là. On n'a pas, voilà. Il faut arriver tout nu à Paris, et puis il faut se laisser se faire habiller, quoi. Bon, tout nu, vous mettez quand même un petit truc, hein, parce que bon, si on arrive tout habillé avec son écharpe, son bonnet, son béret, c'est pas la peine. C'est autant rester chez soi et voilà.
For my final meal in Paris, everything comes kind of full circle. There were some places in Paris that were way ahead of the others. Early adopters of young biodynamic wines and the sort of my way or the highway menus that are popular now. I meet back up with Pierre from Restaurant Vivant and his friend David. We jump in a cab and head out to Le Bourdain, all the way out in the 20th, the Belleville neighborhood. Although it's been in business for 25 years, the owners of this place have always been using biodynamic young wines since the beginning. And Chef Raquel Careña's cooking is generally considered to be some of the very best in Paris.
And I told you we're in Belleville, really popular place. Edith Piaf was born next door.
Right, the hotel?
Yeah, the hotel.
Mom worked the hotel?
Yeah.
L'idée de vous faire goûter.
It's a macerated rosé.
It's good.
You like?
Oh, yes. Why so many years before everybody else started doing this, why did you choose this route?
En quelques mots, c'est pas facile.
They were part of the beginning of the history of what they call today commonly vin naturel, which means that they are organic in the vine.
Was there resistance from customers in the beginning?
Oui.
Yes. In France, everybody thinks he's an expert in wine.
Et donc il y a beaucoup d'ego et de narcissisme.
So there's a lot of narcissism and ego.
Et on passait pour des imbéciles parce qu'on aimait ces vins-là.
So they were thinking they were stupid guys because they were liking and drinking these wines.
It's a really, really cool menu.
No, everything is good here. We're in good hands.
We start off with some squid prepared in its own ink and some beef topped with anchovies.
Squid from Spain.
That's outrageously good.
I like that.
That's very good. This is really good food.
Superb, imaginative food and fantastic wines.
He's got an amazing cellar downstairs. No one knows except him what there is. And he will bring you what he thinks you deserve.
To me, it's very, very exciting. They're very vibrant wines. They don't hurt you.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get, which is exciting too. It's not, oh yes, I've heard of it. No, I haven't heard of it. I have no idea what this is, but it's unlike anything I've had.
It is interesting, and it's the past and the future of wine.
Another option for dinner is Le Vert Volé, right off Canal Saint-Martin in the 10th. Yet another example of a wine bar that serves great food. The place looks like a wine cellar, but there's more to it than just their ample selection of natural wines. The food is creative and delicious. Back at Le Baratin, I order the veal sweetbreads, Pierre the beef cheeks, and David the chicken. And of course, a new wine.
Wow, you were right. This is great.
Yes?
There will be places that look like this in 100 years.
Yeah.
But the big dining rooms, I wonder, who will be the customers?
In 100 years?
In 20 years.
Yeah.
Russians and Chinese.
Yeah. Yeah.
After eating at a place like Le Baratin, you realize, or at least you hope, that this type of food in this type of environment will always be around in Paris. Food fads will come and go, but hearty, delicious food rooted in the classics, one can only hope, is timeless.
The two national hobbies in France, people are, first of all, complaining.
I can complain about, what do you want me to complain about? I can find someone to complain about.
And the French guy is just the most impolite.
I am a nice guy, and I'm Parisian, and I have friends, they are nice too, so that makes, at least we're five, that's for sure.
Look, for everything everybody says, good and bad, Paris remains one of the greatest, most beautiful, most magical cities in the world. And like a lot of other really great cities, it's entirely possible to have a bad time. Please don't do that. It's so easy. Just avoid the obvious. Most of us are lucky to see Paris once in a lifetime. Please make the most of it by doing as little as possible. Walk a little, get lost a bit, eat, catch a breakfast buzz, have a nap, try and have sex if you can, just not with a mime. Eat again, lounge around drinking coffee, maybe read a book, drink some wine, walk around a bit more, eat, repeat. See? It's easy.